and this one was pretty mid, honestly. It just kind of felt like paint by numbers King Gizzard to me. I think the best King Gizzard is when they're, like fundamentally they're like a jazz rock psychedelic band, and when they're blending other elements, like when they're blending metal or they're blending blues or they're blending like Middle Eastern like weird string instruments, that's when they're at their best. But I feel like this album was just kind of like it didn't hit any of the highs of any of the other King Gizzards, which it's kind of a shame almost that they come out with 5 albums a year, because if this album came out on its own, it'd be a really fresh sound. And it has some really great solos. I think AstroTurf especially has like an excellent flute solo on it. And I thought Gandhi, it was okay, but most of the songs like change, it just keeps going on and on. Exploding Suns is kind of boring. Short Change, it does an interesting thing with like that weird synth noise, but at the end of the day, it just kind of sounds like it just sounds like more King Gizzard, and I was kind of disappointed by it, honestly.
Yeah, I tell you totally how I felt. Really, I mean, it's a solid album, but it's just there's nothing in it that's like, oh, this one's different. Like,
Mm,
oh, this one's cool because it has this. It's just kind of like, oh, that's a King Gizzard album, you know.
yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of different styles of King Gizzard that they play in all these albums, which is cool. That they can reinvent themselves like that. But I think generally this kind of style is what I like um, out of the King Gizzard albums. Like I'm a big fan of like Quarters, like the paper mache, kind of like laid back, kind of like mellower kind of King Gizzard.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. But like this doesn't feel like anywhere as exciting as those albums to me. It just kind of feels like throw it in the background, chill, which is
uh,
cool. Like Changes, yeah, was like way too long of a song, and nothing feels like anything happened in that song. But yeah, it was cool. I don't know. I saw them with Doug a couple weeks ago. Best show like I saw all year. It was amazing.
They rocked. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And I've listened to the other album with Grim Reaper and Presumptuous on it, and I love that album that came
mhm.
out this year. That one feels a lot more exciting. There's a lot different things going on in that album. This one just feels kind of shoehorned in. So I don't
Which album was that, Matt? I have it right in
know.
front of me.
Doug, do you remember that one?
It's Omnium Gatherum.
Oh yeah. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna say a little bit about King Gizzard. So I know you guys have been into them for a long time, and I've just for whatever reason I've just like never really gotten around to like listening to. I listened to like In Your Mind Fuzz, and then just like I liked it, and then kind of like there's so much to listen to, right? There's so many albums that like just a little overwhelming. So but then yeah, they came out with all these albums this year. So I was like, all right, got to give it another shot. I listened to Omnium Gatherum just kind of randomly. I was like, this one looks good, play, and I like played it while watching or while playing video games, and it was fucking awesome, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this is the album. Like I'm like in now. Now I like get it. Now I'm hooked. So now I gotta like start going through all their albums or whatever. So I started with the other 2022 ones. Ice Five, Ice Death. What's the other one? Ice Death, Planet, Mushrooms.
Had a long title.
It's some weird Gizverse lore
Yeah.
title. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's Laminated Denim. I'm just reading our for in front of me, and then Changes. So Changes is the most recent one. And I thought Changes again, like I haven't listened to everything, so it definitely wasn't as good as Omnium Gatherum. I didn't find anything like particularly wrong with it. It was just a little more chill, a little more laid back. But again, kind of like what you were saying, nothing really like stood out to me. That long song, like it seems like there's kind of a pattern here of like kind of a jam as the first song.
Uh,
I didn't think it was as good as the one in Omnia Gatherum, but it was still good. I like didn't dislike it. So yeah, I think mid is a good way to put it, but like not in like a bad way. It's not like a bad album. Um, but I didn't think I liked it as much as the other ones I've listened to. So I'm really excited to kind of go through the catalog now and just dive in. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. I'm like
yeah.
starting.
You're starting right now.
So I'll probably start from the other end. Yeah, and then
I've listened to like maybe half of the King Gizzard albums.
There's so much to listen to.
and it's like
hard.
Like one a year seems like a lot to ask already.
I think for me, my favorite albums are I really like Gumboot Soup, and that's sort of like a hot take.
That does sound like I feel like not a lot of people feel that way.
It's so bluesy. It perfectly blends their style with like real like grassroots blues in such a way that like I didn't expect it was going to work, but it's great. And I really like Polygon Wonderland. And I mean Mind Fuzz is amazing as well. And the one that they did with Mild High Club kind of has,
I think that's so underrated.
Yeah,
awesome. It's really good. Yeah,
it's got the same sort of laid back feel as this one, but there's so much more that's going on. It's like this kind of feels like they're making an album
in that Mild High Club one, and it's like a really weird like spooky vibe to it.
Yeah, it's really spooky. Yeah, all the train sounds, all like the wind blowing in the background. It's a really spooky album. I like all the gimmicks on that.
But there's nothing gimmick. There's no like exciting little.
There's no X factor for this one.
Yeah, it's kind of
like Flying Microtonal Banana. They put extra frets on their guitar. To make a weird noise. This is just like, yeah, we're gonna make a cool jazz album, whatever. I think for this one, when it comes to like objectively looking at an album, this is a 7. But when it comes to King Gizzard and what they've done before, I'd give it maybe like a low 6, because I think they've done a lot better. But I think I think the actual like craftsmanship, the production, the talent on the album, I think it's a really well made album. It just isn't very inspired. I think they just need to slow down a little bit, honestly.
Yes, I'm definitely suffering from like Giz fatigue. Like, it's been hard to keep up. There was like one time, like, was it when they put out KGLW, and then they had Chunky Shrapnel, and then it was just like a lot coming out at once.
It's so hard to keep track.
Yeah, they have like all these sprints of like sorry if you guys could hear Dan, but they had like all these sprints of like albums coming out back to back to back. And I wouldn't mind if they like took like even just 6 months, like just give us like half a year to not get a new Giz album.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know. I think if they slow down, maybe, I don't want to say like their quality is bad at all, that it's suffered necessarily, but I don't know, maybe those creative juices can get flown a little bit more if they just take a little break. But then like they go on tour, like they're touring at the same time as
their tours are so much, they're so energetic, and they look like they love
they play a lot of songs. And it's like, how can they make all this new music? How can they release all this new music while also touring as much as they do? Like I don't get it. It's wild. But
and I need to correct myself. I said Gumboot Soup. They have so many albums. I meant Fishing for Fishies. That's the blues album that I really love.
I get those mixed up. So
yeah, they came out like right after each other.
I don't know those super well, but I'll check those ones. So Fishing for Fishies, right?
Fishing for Fishies. It's like a super bluesy album. It's good. My favorite's Nonagon Infinity though, and I think that's
that's a good pick. That one is a good just rocker. Like
like it's so hype. It's so much fun. It's like a great like workout album, but there's also like incredible craftsmanship on it as well.
I feel like I'm not as big of a metal guy, but I know they have everyone loves their metal stuff, but they kind of lose me when they go that far. But I like the more blues rooted stuff.
There's a lot of really fun riffs to play on guitar in Nonagon Infinity. Yeah, it's like a lot of really fast stuff, but it's easy to play.
Memorable hooks, yeah.
But I don't want to keep talking about my album, King Gizzard. I could talk about them all day. Jed, I want to hear more about the other really obnoxiously named band.
Yes. Have a walk name.